Hello everybody, I thought I'd come on here and do a bit of crafting today. I've spent the morning cutting out some dies from my new dies from In Love Art Shop, and anybody who cuts dies knows, especially when they're not used to it, it does take quite a while to cut dies out. Well, it did me. But I wanted to get it all done in one go. I've also included a couple, I think, from my previous dies that I received. The circles, a couple of the memory decks ones, and is that all? Oh, and the little love heart corner pieces. I'll have every die that I use in the description box below. The circle ones, those lovely ones there as well. So I'll mention it if I use them, and they were from the last design package, but I haven't used any yet, but I have, oh, that must be in the bag. There's a little, I've put them in bags because it's the easiest way to keep them without them all getting tangled together. And then I can reuse the bags for other things. So I've done that. What I'm going, I've also put two signatures together with just this tea stained paper, and I've like, you know, I've put that in there thinking, okay, I might use that there. And then I've got this piece here. I only cut the die on the ends of this one. I folded it over and just ran part of it through the die cutting machine, and I thought I would have that in there like that, and I will probably put either vellum or some sort of paper behind it, or, you know, in there like that, so it shows the design off really nicely. Am I too far up? I am sorry. So it shows the design off nicely. Oh, okay. And I've done the same sort of thing with this. With this frame one, just cut the end of it a bit like that, run it partially through the machine, and that may work nicely for a pocket in the center of the signature. And that's pretty much all I've done so far, and I thought I might like to keep this one very monotone, vintage, creamy off-whites and whites and things like that. So I've just cut them all out in those paper. I've wanted to do a journal with just the white colors for a while now, and I keep adding bits of color on everything, so I'm going to try and stick to it. Maybe a bit of gray, I like that. I transformed this old folder of mine. It used to have planner stickers in it. I'm not a planner. I write things down. I don't really use the stickers like the planner girls do. I love it, but I just don't do it. So I gave them all to my daughter, all the cute little stickers and everything. I kept this folder, so I've transformed it a bit. I've just put a couple of flowers on the front there because it had a planner thing on it, and I filled it up with these like sheet protector things, and it's an A5 size, and I've put all my scraps in here, all my little scraps of paper that fit in here, not big ones but little ones. It needs a belly band because it's so fat. I think I need a second one because it's so fat. I've put them all in here so they're easy to find, and this seems to be working really well. And I've got in here, here we go, offcuts of file folders, and I thought these would be great, not that piece, these would be great to make tags. So we can make a couple of tags out of that, and maybe a couple out of that. Oh, hang on, what's this? This one here. Another one out of that. That That one doesn't, I think because that's been bent, it doesn't feel as sturdy. These ones feel a little bit more sturdy. So we might keep those out, put those back, and that can be the base of our tags. Did that? Yes, it did. I do find I have to put little clips at the top though so they don't slide around and fall out, because I don't want that. Okay, so we'll also need some sort of base to it. Bit of paper, so we'll take about, and these are all the offcuts from when we make the journals. I used to just keep them in a plastic Ziploc bag, and it was so hard to find anything, so I spent some time the other day just sorting through it and putting like things together. So simple. Some music paper we can use. We shouldn't. I don't think I'll need an awful lot of music paper. Okay, that's a bit of glassine. Don't need doilies. I would put doilies on, but we're using die cuts for these. I even put the little stitched bits in here, so that was nice. We're using die cuts in here, so that's going to help it along a bit. What about a bit of this pattern paper might be nice as well. So what we got? Let's take that writing. Oh, don't rip it. Just cut it. Just take that out as well. So I don't need a lot of it. Okay, so perhaps that's all I need in there. I spy it actually works better if I have it this way. That is also an In Love Art Shop die, so I'll take that out so I can use that as well, because I did cut a smaller one of those out in case I wanted it. So I think that might be all I want from this. So okay, and all I do is stick this back on. It's so big. I think I do need to divide it into two, and just slide that under the flower at the front there. Usually straighten the elastic, but that kind of holds it so it's more manageable. So I'll just pop that down there on the floor. And this is what we're going to work with for our tag. It may change a little bit, but first we want to be cutting them to size. I'll just cut them in half to start with, I think. They don't all have to be the same size. Now we're making a tag, Janet. Trying to think what I did. I think that was from one of the journals where I put it in the file folders and it wasn't what I needed. Okay, so we're going to cut that as well. How big? We could have a large tags for this, I think. Yeah. Or 2 different sizes, perhaps. Maybe 2 different sizes. Okay, so I don't know how long that is, but I'll say 6 inches for that one. Maybe 7 for this. Yep, that's fine. Okay. More offcuts that will go back into the folder when I'm done, or I might use it for something. Next thing I want to do is add some paper to them, to the reverse side of them. So glue stick hiding. I'm just putting a bit in the center to hold it, that's all. Don't want any lumps, pushing a bit too hard on that, I think. I like the texture on that side, so I shall glue the smooth side. Okay, that looks about right. I'm going to use these scissors. These seem straighter than the others. I'm just going to trim it down now because I want to sew around the edge, but if I do a zigzag, I'm not sure if I'm going to, but if I do and it goes slightly over the edge, I don't want to have to be trimming the threads. So I'll just trim them close down now. I'll keep the bigger pieces. I'm not keeping the real little ones. I know I normally would, but I find I keep far too much stuff if I do that. I'll keep that size, but not the real little ones. Okay, so that's that. What am I going to do on this side here? That's the back. That's so you can write on it. This side we're going to decorate. Okay, I'm just going to go and sew that on, and then I'll be back. Actually, before I sew it together, what I've done is I've just rounded the corner on a couple of them and then trimmed the corners on another one, and I thought I might put a bit of lace. I need to find a bit that's a bit wider, I think. Let's have a look. Although it doesn't have to go all the way, because I might as well sew it on while I'm sewing around it. So I'll cut it a little bit bigger, like that. And then I can trim it if I want to when I've sewn it on. I think this lace came off a top from the op shop. That one might fit on there, all right. Okay, so we'll use that. Oh, look, there's a strip there too. Maybe I'll put that there. Okay. And now I'll go stitch it all on. I probably do. Will I? Might sew those two pieces together beforehand. Then I'll be back. Okay, all done. Just trim it up a little. And that is done in a rough kind of way because that's the look I want. Don't need it neat and tidy or anything like that. Just trying to cut the lace a little bit bigger than the actual tag. Now this one's got scallops down both sides. I don't particularly want that, so I'm just going to cut the scallop off one side, just so it's more pleasing to me. Okay. I'll just leave the threads on a little bit. I don't like them long. It's a personal preference. If you prefer your things left long, then do that. And then that one. And I'm using a beige kind of tan colour thread until it runs out. It's just the end of a reel I've got in the machine. It's probably won't do the whole journal, but then I'll just change it up for something else that will go. I think that's alright. Those. Keep those ones because we can use those. In the journal. Right, so that's that. Let's have a look. That's what we've got. Maybe a little bit of this. And did I get another one out? I thought I got, oh I did, I got this one out, didn't I? Let's have a look, maybe this one first. Yeah, that one. Don't really want it neat and tidy, too neat and tidy. Like that. Music paper. That way or that way? remove those, and I can move things over like that. Ugh. Okay, well they're a little long. We don't want both long ones. We don't want them all exactly the same. I know it looks like they are, but they're not, because that's a square cut tag, that's a curved tag. So we'll see how we go. It won't be. Okay, now we want next, where are they? Yesterday I was printing. I decided to make some copies of a old magazine that I've got, and I thought I might like to use, let's find out, use it on this. See, this is a Le Mode Illustré journal, and it is from the 1800s, and I only have like 4 pages of it, because I think they came out in like 4 or 6 pages every so often, and then you bound them all together, I think. So maybe we can use some of these. Now I photocopied I scanned these, and then I turned them into black and white, and then I printed them onto some tea and coffee stained paper, because I found if I didn't turn them to black and white, they were too dark, far too dark. So this lightened them up a bit, so I could use them. Now this is only half an image, because they're really big pages, but I can use that on a tag. I think that's quite all right. We'll use it on one of these big ones. I love these kinds of images. There's another one. I have no idea what it says. It doesn't look straight. We can leave that on there. I hope it's... It's a family magazine, so I can't think it being anything, you know, wrong in it. And it says embroidery, so I'd say that's kind of either lace or perhaps fabric, because I'm thinking of broderie anglaise. My music's upside down. I need another one for that one, don't I? But they're beautiful. Got her on there. Maybe I can use that one there. saves on ink too if you print them out in black and white or grayscale onto the tea stained paper. You won't go through your coloured ink as much to get a background. So I'd say it's talking about the hats and things, because see, it's got these pictures here, so we'll put that there. Okay, we need our die cuts. That's what it's all about today, our die cuts. And I think I'll come back each time with something else for the journal using the die cuts. Where did I put them? They were here. Oh, yeah. No. Oh. Okay, they're right next to me, right here. So I'm thinking a larger one, perhaps. I absolutely love the heart ones. They're just beautiful, so I cut quite a few of those out. I don't know if they'll work, but we'll have a look. So pretty. Look at that. Aren't they beautiful? Maybe it will. Oops, I left a little bit in there. So we can do two with the hearts, can't we? Which other one? Don't want to do, what's that? Is that square cut or round? That one is round, that one is square. So maybe we'll do the two smaller ones with hearts. That's okay. Like that. Yeah. And then we could these are really pretty. I do have, love those, but I don't want those there, I don't think. What the hell? I can always cut more if I need more further down the track. I'm just trying to think what would work best here. I love these. Where are they? Is that too intricate though? No, I don't think so. I really like them and I want to use them. So, I think I cut 4 of these anyway. Whoa. You have to be careful. They like to get tangled because they're so delicate. Oh, and I did find when you're taking them apart, if you start with the little coils themselves, release those first, then it all comes away quite easily. I've actually got 2 here. You see, so that's going to be fun, isn't it? Oh, look at that. So we can use one of these on here because we don't have to, we only have to use half, really. I think, oh, and I think I know what those little perforated lines there are for. I think that's for folding it so you can put it around a card or something. I think, I'm presuming. So do we want to put that there? So pretty. I think I might, but I think I might cut it off the banner part because I don't really need that on there. Just love the laciness of it. So maybe that can go like that. We'll need some real lace on it, of course. Some more, because we've already got some. And a piece on this one, might as well use the other side. That way we can still use that other piece like a belly band inside the journal. This is tea stained paper. It is a heavier weight paper than normal paper. It's I think it's 120 GSM. Okay, so we can put those there, and that needs to come down a bit, I think, like that. We need some heavier lace. Do I have any? Yes, of course I have some. Just let me put these dies away so that they don't get ripped or anything. I have a little basket here, and it is full of just bits from not more recent projects, because that's mainly been Crafty Me shop stuff, but projects that I have worked on. Maybe some of this could work to make a collage. That's not going to cut. Right, let's see. I'll keep that because it has the name of the magazine and I may use that inside the journal. Yeah, these are just tags. We don't need to go too far over the top with them. Okay. Now what I want to do is, because, you know, they're delicate, aren't they? That one still has a couple of tiny little holes to, there we go. They're quite delicate because they are made out of paper. So what I've got, some tulle here that hasn't been put away yet, and this tulle is wedding veil tulle. Just make sure it's not too old, otherwise it's really quite brittle. And what I might do is glue them down into position and then stitch the tulle over the top of everything once that's all done nice. That will protect the die cut from breaking, because it, you know, it will be left up a little bit. I'm not going to glue it entirely down. I want it to be sort of a little bit dimensional, and by adding the tulle over it you still get that effect, and then perhaps put a couple of flowers on top. Oh, that's what I could do before I do that. There's these flowers and I want to play with them. I haven't tried them. Where are they? Cut quite a few out. Here we go. These flowers, we may be able to put one underneath as well on each of them. They're very pretty. I'll ink around the pictures too, I think. So, ooh, be careful, careful, careful. Oh, and that's what I did too. Some of the flowers, let me show you, have little love heart cutouts on them. So when I was doing them, I collected them all and then I divided them into two and put them in these coin pouches and then just stitched along one side of the coin pouch, and it's kind of just a little novelty thing. So they're all the little love hearts, but we won't use those on the tags. I cut some double thickness. No, that's not double thickness. What flowers do we want to use? The more delicate ones perhaps will... let's have a look. Look at that. It's pretty, isn't it? We want to be able to see it though, and because that's so intricate, maybe we need a larger one, like that. We could use two, perhaps. Okay, so for my flowers I use, I've got an old mouse pad and I flick it over. It's quite a nice thick one. I flick it over and that's what I use for my flowers. So it's just gently, and these are all cut out of the heavier weight copy paper. I went and got myself something because I thought I'd do the pages in the heavier weight, but I think it's a bit too heavy for pages. That's not good. That's a bit sharp for that, so I'll just do that. Not that I want too much dimension because it's a tag and it will be flattened out, but it does kind of soften the look a bit when you've put a bit of shape in it. See how it looks a bit more vintagey than the one that's not. So I could put that there. I could put a button or a sequin or something in the center if I wanted to. Yeah, I think I'll stick to those ones. Is there different? There is different sizes. 2, 3. Let's put those ones back and find a smaller one perhaps. There we go. What's this? This is the middle size one, I think. It's just one. Let's see what that looks like first. So just very gently curling that. This is the back side of the flower. If you just run the stylus gently down it, it'll curl those petals up a bit. I'm not going to use that one because I'm just going to do that to hollow the center a bit, but not too much. And would that be better with two, I wonder? Yeah. That will be pretty. Remember, it's going to have tulle over it, so let's see. Do we want one or two layers of tulle? Maybe just one. Yeah, that will protect it as a tag, see? Like, if you were just making a tag like a card, you wouldn't bother really. But because it's going to go in and out of the journal, it needs to have some sort of protection, I think. We'll say. Okay, so that's what I'm going to go and do now, and then I'll be back. So once they're all sewn on, you just trim off the tulle that you have sewn over the top. You don't have to, you just, that's the beauty of this shabby vintage style, is that you don't have to have everything neat and tidy. It's meant to be shabby. You cut it so it's just a little bit bigger than the tag itself. There we go. That can go. There are the scraps. And there are the tags. They look very pretty without the tulle, but the tulle is there for the purpose of being able to put things into a book without ruining all their delicate dyes. It also helps prevent the pictures of the photocopies being rubbed off on the opposite page, because that can sometimes happen with photocopies. And this is a method I learnt a long time ago from Marlene, about putting tulle over things that have a photocopy on them, and things that might be moved around quite a bit, or even just pages that face one another. By putting a layer of tulle or even organza, you're protecting the image as well. So that's how they turned out. Just let you have a little look. So that's the first stage of our journal. I did forget to sew around the edge of that picture, but I'm not overly concerned. And I added one of these little love heart flowers there as well. I think it's really sweet, and a bling in each of the flowers, because I like a bit of bling. And so they're the 4 tags for our journal. And I hope you like them. And the dies, of course, are from In Love Art Shop. And I'll be showcasing the dies throughout the making of the whole journal. So I hope you join me again. Take care, everybody, and thank you for watching. Bye.